So I just wanted to make a video to kind of clear up a couple things, just because a lot of people seem to have trouble. I don't know if it's understanding my sense of humor, telling when I'm joking, that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted to lay out my sense of humor, when I'm kind of in character, when I'm not in character, and kind of my approach to comedy and trying to entertain you. So my sense of humor is a combination of deadpan, exaggeration / hyperbole, disproportionate anger, absurdism, and self-parody. So you kind of have all these different things mixed together, which kind of comes out in admittedly very often a deliberately ambiguous way. It often is supposed to be intended to do a double take. You know what I mean? Like to do a double take to see, is he joking, is he not joking, and to leave a little bit of doubt as to exactly what I'm going with. But that's just kind of my sense of humor at play. So let's kind of go into the first part, disproportionate anger. So this is something I've always found really funny. I find movie reviews or video game reviews where the person just excoriates the game, just tears it a new one, just goes over the top, hilarious, because, like, who cares? Frankly, like, I remember, like, kind of the first internet comedy I was ever exposed to was, I remember when the AVGN and Nostalgia Critic made their first videos, and when I watched it, I'm like, this is hilarious, because they're freaking out and they're yelling over some, like, obscure movie, obscure game from like 20-30 years ago, and it's completely disproportionate to the amount of anger it should receive. And I just find that funny because of the absurdity of it. So a lot of the things I do, I'm trying to play up how upset I am. I mean, if I'm doing a political story, that's a bit different. But if I'm doing a DSP, if I'm doing a review, if I'm doing like a lolcow, in a lot of cases, I play up how much I care about it. Like, do I actually care about DSP? Like, he doesn't really actually offend me. The way he treats his fans kind of bothers me, but it's more I just kind of find it fascinating, and playing up how angry I am over stuff he does, I think is just more entertaining to watch than me just kind of sit there and dryly report the facts and try to be kind of neutral. I mean, a large part of what I do is to try to entertain people, and in a lot of cases, yeah, it's just, I don't know what else to say. So yeah, I play up how much I care about things. I exaggerate how angry I am and how offended I get by things. It's in my view just kind of a form of comedy, and I like to play it straight a lot of the time. So next we have playing it straight, just kind of monotone deadpanning. Now I have a very naturally deadpan voice. That comes largely from nonverbal learning disability and also just kind of personality. But I definitely play it up a lot, particularly when I'm doing a video like the tax video or something. Because I think it's funnier if you can't exactly tell when I'm joking. For the record, if I say something absurd or weird, I'm probably joking. But I think it's funnier if I keep the exact same inflection and I don't change my tone of voice. So you do a double take. I just think it's funnier than me taking like a really obviously sarcastic voice or something like that, and just kind of like I just find it funny to do a double take and people go, wait, what did he say? Was that serious? Was that not serious? That's just kind of how my sense of humor works. So, like, a lot of times when I'm doing, I don't know, a DSP or review or something, and you hear me just say something really weird, that's often a joke. It's just I deliberately kind of make it ambiguous. So I guess if you're aware that I'm making it ambiguous, if you think I'm joking, I probably am. And just a lot of things I do say in that tone are kind of references to other things. Like, if I frequently will say I work for a living or they work for a living, that's kind of that's a reference to something Mark Levin and a lot of conservative talk radio shows say in a really condescending fashion to people who are unemployed. I work for a living, you don't work for a living. And like, so there's that, and that kind of leads into like self-satire. So like a lot of people might say, oh, well, Argent, you make fun of people for living with their parents, you make fun of people for being nerds, for being autists, for all this other stuff, but you go to anime conventions and you do like let's plays and you do all this other stuff. And to that I say, yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of the joke. I mean, in a lot of cases I am actually making fun of these people, but it's also supposed to be ironic because I engage in a lot of the same things myself. I mean, that's kind of the entire point of the Death to Normies party, is it's kind of supposed to be a parody of certain kind of people in this movement or kind of in these circles, but it's also supposed to be ironic because it's self-parody, because I'm guilty of a lot of that stuff. And I don't deny or try to play down that. If anything, I've been a lot more harshly self-critical than a lot of people could ever be towards me. I've made videos calling myself a coward, a loser, a wuss. I've talked about suffering from mental illness. I've talked about all kinds of issues I have with myself. So just like, I think keep that in mind. Like if I make fun of somebody for not editing their videos, I obviously don't edit. So like it's supposed to be like I am actually like legitimately mocking someone, but I'm also kind of taking a shot at myself indirectly. Like in the DSP videos, whenever he talks about, or I forget, whenever somebody he was talking about the adpocalypse. He's like, you have these people who make these racist, hateful videos and monetize them. And I'm like, who would make extremist political videos and monetize them? Those people are scum. When obviously that's referring to myself. So, yeah, there's that aspect. Obviously, I exaggerate things. I kind of fill in the blank. That kind of thing. Like, I remember an example a little while ago where Movie Bob said in his book Brick by Brick, he said something to the effect of, I was waiting till my parents went to bed before I went home. And I said he was hiding in his car because he didn't want to endure the look of shame in his parents' eyes when they saw him. And some people thought that was like serious, that I actually was saying that happened. It's me filling in the blank. It's a joke. It's like when I'm doing a lot of these things, obviously a lot of what I'm saying isn't necessarily true, but I'm exaggerating or filling in the blank or using hyperbole for humor purposes. It's pretty common comedic thing, and once again I play it up because I think it's funnier if I'm deadpanning it. And then sometimes I'll just be completely absurd and I'll just claim absurd things or I'll do absurd stuff. So yeah, so if you're feeling sometimes it's ambiguous when I'm making a joke, I mean, that's deliberate. I think some people are don't give me enough credit and think like some really dumb stuff I say is like how I really feel. But no, overall, a lot of what I do is a joke. It's me trying to be entertaining. Am I like 100% serious with the Endure Dev thing? Is everything in it 100% factually accurate? Of course it isn't. I mean, that wasn't the intent. The intent is to produce an entertaining product that kind of tells the story, but is also kind of fun for me and is fun to watch. So I don't really care if I exaggerate or whatever. That's just kind of my sense of humor. So hopefully that kind of explained things a bit more and people are a little more clear. But that's all I have to say for now, and I'll talk to you guys later.